Hi, Cedric. Oh. Hi,
Hello.
cerberus.
Hello. I'm just
Um.
hanging out with
You're
everybody.
just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just
Right.
hanging out
Right.
with my
Okay.
buddies.
Don't you have episode 14 to record? Because it's episode 14 right now.
Episode 14. Steve. Episode 14. Episode 14. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 14 of season 3 of the Eltriancraft server. As all of you might have seen, because of the time lapse, I've done quite a lot on the interior design of this this big tree, and I absolutely love it. Look at how gorgeous everything is. So this is my vibe, you know, extremely naturey, a lot of particles. I absolutely love this. I also moved my little to-do board from downstairs to upstairs. I also give it a little upgrade, so I think it looks beautiful up here. I've now done quite a lot of the to-do list that we had 2 episodes ago, and now we can partially remove this one. I still want to keep it in here because there's still quite a lot to do. I've also done this area, looks a bit better now as well, but there's still a lot of things we should do on the inside of this tree, as well as not only downstairs but also up here. So there's just a lot more to do. So I'm gonna keep this one on. However, today we have some more things to do that also are on this board. For example, Koda has now moved their base from over there towards over there. They started anew, basically. They restarted working on their base, and of course we do need a path towards Koda, because I mean, Koda and I, we're best buddies. We're kind of best friends, you know. We need to do something. Yeah, our paths need to go across at some point again. So that is something we still need to do, and that is something I want to do today as well. Because to be honest, that little forest over there, it is quite bland. If I have to be honest, there's nothing really here, just some trees, and then suddenly the path just ends right over here with nothing. Yeah, those horses might be a problem. They might start to lag the server. Yeah. Gonna have to talk about that with the other members as well. But not only the path is something I want to work on, I also really want to work on some of the terraforming and the houses around. Now that we've pathed out the entire village, at least most of it, I think it's only right to do some more houses and some more terraforming and landscaping. I should add that as well. Landscaping. There we go. Terraforming and landscaping. Something I absolutely adore doing. So yeah, that is the plan for this episode. Work on the houses, a bit of terraforming, landscaping, but most importantly, I want to sort of work on the path between Koda and our village. I absolutely love it when it's raining in my base. Just the sounds and the I absolutely love this. It looks so gorgeous. For my vision of the path towards Koda, I do need a lot of materials, and luckily most of those materials I could just get by using my shovel on the floor to create some path blocks. However, for quite a lot of materials I also need to collect them. Luckily I already have a lot of coarse dirt, for the pathing over here, which I will also need for the path towards Koda. However, I also need a lot of granite, and sadly, I do not have a lot of that. So I think it would be best to collect all of those pretty soon. Not only that, I also will need a lot of seeds, but luckily for me, a good friend of mine, Ren, has an entire wheat farm, and also I have one right over here. So we can get some wheat over there, and maybe I can even make a different farm real quickly to get a lot of seeds pretty quickly. So how about we go collect some of the materials? Over here we have quite a few veins with granite blocks, which is extremely useful because we need quite a lot for the paths. Okay, so here is the idea for the path. I want a natural, slightly messy walkway that runs along a giant wheat field. The path won't be a straight line, it will instead be a kind of wonky path. I'm going to be mixing in a lot of different blocks in the mix. For example, dirt, coarse dirt, path blocks, and also some granite, and even maybe some stones as well. I want this path to look very worn in and organic. Along the side of the path I will add a lot of small details, for example tall grass, flowers, bushes, and even some rocks along the way as well. Maybe even some custom trees as well to make everything feel more alive. And of course there will also be some lampposts and some signage for like storytelling of the path itself, and to point people towards the direction of both me and Koda's base. The whole goal is to make the path feel like it's naturally formed over time, and that's something perfectly designed. Just a cozy little trail that fits into the landscaping. Okay, I have now most of the resources that I need for the path. Let me see. We got a lot of granite, some coarse dirt, some cobblestone for the walls obviously, and also I have a lot of stone so I can make some little stones, some boulders around the building as well. So yeah, let's meet up with Koda and start working on the path a bit. The first thing me and Koda need to do is figure out where the path will go and how it is going to go around towards the base, and where we are going to stop. Because I do know that Koda wants to do something around the base, for example a wall I believe, so we need to keep that in mind as well. Hi Koda.
Hi.
Oh hi
We're being
Sean.
losses.
Alright.
Anyway Koda, I want to start working on the path because I finally gathered all the resources I need.
Yeah?
Do you want to help?
Halfway. Of course I want to help. It's
Because we need to figure out how the
between-
path is going to work and where it's going to go, etc.
Yeah, it's between our bases, so of course I gotta help. I don't want you to
Yeah.
do all the work, because then I'd feel bad.
I think it's best to start looking from this area because that path is already kind of set. I just need to add like granite as such. So there's a large open space here. So what I was thinking about is kind of like make a worn out natural path way towards your village or your city, and then on the side there will be like what's it called, farmland, wheat fields.
Oh yeah. That's. I was actually thinking about building like a couple of farmsteads outside of the walls, because that's usually how it is in like medieval towns and cities, and it's a big space for it. So wheat fields would definitely make sense.
Okay, what we need to do now is kind of path out how the path is gonna, where the path is gonna go, in which direction, and then somewhere where it's going to end, at least until you've built your base.
Yeah, I think the safest bet is to just have it go like in front, because where my nether portal is probably going to be around where the entrance to the wall is, so as long as it's like in front of that, it should be safe enough.
We can do
We'll just
that.
give it a wide berth.
There are a lot of creeper holes though, so we might need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Time for a little time lapse.
Big hole though.
Okay, so as you might have seen, Koda, me and Sean have been working on this path for a wee bit. So if you look around, we now have this beautiful big wheat field on the right side, which is still not done, but we are quite well on our way. On the other side, we will have kind of like an animal pen where all the horses can walk around, and cows and sheep. And then down there will be some flower farms as well, which I think would be really fun to start working on. But for now, I think this path is well on its way to be finished. So let's move on to the next part. Okay, now that that path is mostly done, I think it's time for us to start working on our next project. I absolutely love the path that we've done right now. It feels so cozy. Now both sides of the path towards Koda's bases are, to be honest, mostly done. We've done something about them, so that makes, so that so yeah, that is something. I think we can now kind of remove this from the list, even though there's still some things I want to do on that path. But now, I think it's time for us to start working on our next project, and that will be not blowing up my base. That is not going to happen. Who wrote that on my list? Oh wait, there was Polly. I know who did that. Polly did that right in front of me. No, sorry Polly, we're not going to blow up my base. That's not going to happen. One thing I do want to do is a bit more of the landscaping around this area, because if you look around on this side of my base, everything is like covered in like leaves, bushes, grass and some mud. However, if you move a bit more towards this direction, it's only over here and nowhere over here. It feels kind of bland. It feels kind of empty. So I think we need to start working. I think something needs to be done about that. So let's go get some materials and start working on decorating this area a bit. Such a gorgeous sunset, isn't it? Okay, let's go start on the... Oh, there's a creeper over there. Oh, can you see it? Oh, wait. Right over there. Can you see it? Wait, there it is. Hello, creeper. Okay, let's go do some landscaping. In this shulker box I have over here, I've got a lot of materials that we will need for the landscaping around this area. Mostly some mud. I got some water buckets as well for the little water patches that I also have over there. Right, there they are. I also got some fairy bushes, some ferns, some short grass. Okay, let's get started. Something we first need to do is actually kind of work on this path, because we do need to place a bit more of this coarse dirt around. This is so that I know a bit more about where the path starts and where the path ends, so it will be easier for me to do some of the landscaping around. I also brought some moss carpet so we can hide these ugly torches by replacing them with these frog lights. And now this place will be nicely lit up as well. I mean, come on, it looks way better than those ugly torches around. However, sometimes a bit of torch spam is necessary to make everything safe to build. Okay, that already looks a little cleaner. Of course, I'm not gonna do every single torch at once. I want to do it in small sections, and for now, this section over here is the only section I'm going to do. Except for the few torches inside of the buildings, because those are going to be removed anyway. But for now, I think we can start working on this area now to make it look a bit nicer. I think I want to start by placing a few of the fairy bushes and some of the other green foliage around this tree, and also in these small little areas over here, because that will indicate where I can place my flowers and also my pitcher pots and all the other things I want to add. I'm going to start with some of the firefly bushes because those might be my favorite plants ever, because of all the little fireflies going around. Oh, look at that. Such an amazing atmosphere, doesn't it? It gives us such an amazing atmosphere, doesn't it? Okay, so let's place a few around. I do want to be a bit cautious about where I will place them. I do not want to place them at random, mostly. I do want them to have them. I do want to give them like a deliberate place and a specific reason why I place them there. One way I try to do that, for example, is with the firefly bushes, because I like to place them around some water. Because fireflies like to be in humid areas, for example, near some water in forests. Also, the water does kind of break away your eyes from all the green and the browns, because we do have a lot of those colors around here. A bit of blue, like the mushrooms, and some water is actually quite nice. And of course, near water, dirt and grass doesn't just normally stay dirt and grass. That's why I like to add some patches of mud around this place as well, to give it kind of like that earthy effect, and also another way to break away from the browns and the greens. And the best part about mud is that you still can place some foliage around as well. So it is actually the perfect block to have around this area. Mud also obviously forms when an area is quite wet, for example because of rain, and because of this forest I do like to think that it rains quite a lot in here as well. So I like to add a bit of some random mud patches around as well, especially around the farms. I mean, farms do need a lot of water to grow their crops. I think a lot of mud around this area also kind of tells a story. So I think a lot of the mud around this area as well is kind of needed. Okay, now that we've placed some mud and some firefly bushes around, now it's time to place some grass. And that is my favorite part to do as well, because it's kind of like do whatever. I mostly like to place the grass in like patches around, and then have a few of the bigger ones around as well. I mostly place them around areas where buildings or like big things are, because I like to think that we as fairies also use lawnmowers or like bugs to cut the grass, and they often do not go like around the corners because they do not want to harm the trees or the buildings around it. Little things like those do bring some more life to builds like this. Okay, I think that looks nice. And now it's time for the bushes. Bushes are a bit different than the grass in my opinion, because grass obviously you can place them around like over here as well, just a bit normally. But for the bushes, I more like them to be kind of separate from other bushes. I like to place those in patches and then mostly around this area, but I can also place them a bit more around the path as well. But the bushes, I want to isolate them from other bushes as much as possible. With the sole reason, big patches of bushes, it doesn't really look good in my opinion. I think like an isolated bush looks way better. The same goes for ferns. I like to separate them as well from other ferns, because I think that looks a lot better than just place them next to each other in patches. And now it's time to place some of the flowers. I mostly like to place the taller plants in the back, so they do not obstruct everything else. For example, over here, the pitcher pots, they go further in the back. Well, the flowers like the cornflowers and also the mushrooms, if I can find them. Oh wait, I have them over here. The mushrooms go a bit more in the front, and then we have the pink petals, which will kind of go in the middle together with the wildflowers. And with the layer areas, the picture pots can also go a bit more in the front, because they do not really obstruct that much if they go kind of like against the wall. Regarding flowers, I do not really think about where I'm going to place them. It's more like, do they obstruct things? I mean, flowers in the wild are kind of random as well. So, yeah. I do kind of like to make a mix between the pink petals and the wildflowers. I just think that looks really nice. Because they're the same kind of flowers, different colors obviously. But I just think it looks a lot nicer like this. And of course, we do have to finish this area with a few small amethyst buds. Here we go. Yes, that looks good. And suddenly this place looks a lot more magical because of all the amethyst. I love amethyst as well. And some of these mushrooms need to be over here as well to bring some more color. And with that, we finally have finished this area quite a bit. I do kind of like it. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I would say I'm quite content with this. Obviously, there are some things that I think might be a bit too crowded, for example, this area. On the other hand, it does look pretty good. Maybe if I just remove the shulker box, which is not even supposed to be here, and this wall block. Yeah, that works. Sometimes it's necessary to step a bit backwards and look at what you've done to see if it looks good. And to be honest, now that I look at this, I do kind of like it. It looks like I have over there, but then a bit more elevated, I would say. A bit more amethysts. It's a bit more, you know. I do need some bushes around as well, but I can do that a bit later as well. For now, I think this is good. I think this is really good. But this is as much time as I have for this episode, so I want to thank all of you so much for watching, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye!